What's going on, everybody? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and today's show is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They're offering unlimited talk and text plans on cellular devices for as low as $15 per month. You might have heard of them before. They're owned by Ryan Reynolds, the famous actor, and you can get started today. Inflation is crazy. We're all trying to save a buck. You can do that with getting started with Mint Mobile. All you got to do is go to mintmobile.com/chatsports. I'll put the link to that in the comments and description of this video, and we'll tell you later on about them in today's show. But Christopher King, my guy, what up, bro? Who do you think our front seven will be come game one? That's a great question. Peter, we have a depth chart if you want to go to that. I think on the outside edge rushers, no doubt about it, are going to be the rookie, number 5, Kayvon Thibodeaux. I just love saying that dude's name. I think it's going to look somewhat like this. Kayvon Thibodeaux, outside backer, Azeez Ojulari, outside backer, and then I think you'll have some sort of combination of these three guys in the middle of the defensive line. Leonard Williams, Justin Ellis, Dexter Lawrence, and then behind them you'll have Blake Martinez and Tay Crowder. That's what we're rocking with. And I have some high expectations for this front seven on the Giants. I think that area on the field, that part of the team, is the most talented. Blake Martinez, he's a great football player. He's got to bounce back from that ACL injury. Azeez Ojulari, 8 sacks as a rookie. Leonard Williams, we know he's a beast. Sexy Dexter Lawrence, we know he's a good football player. And then Kayvon Thibodeaux. That's the most talented group on this roster, and I'm expecting them to carry the Giants going forward into the 2022 NFL season. That's who we're rocking with. I appreciate your question, Christopher. Next one coming in from Alan. What up, man? He's a real one. Should the Giants sign Linval Joseph? Okay, bringing back a former Giants legend. We need some depth on the interior defensive line. I don't know if we necessarily need more depth. We'll take a look at that in a second. But Linval Joseph is still a solid football player at this point in his NFL career. Last year, spent time with the LA Chargers, played 14 games, sat out a couple due to injury, but he had 57 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 2 QB hits. He was a lot better player with the Giants than he is at this point. He was great with the Minnesota Vikings for a while, but I understand why you might think we need to add some veteran interior defensive lineman depth. Because after Justin Ellis at the nose tackle spot, of course Dexter Lawrence could play there. I don't think he needs to or will. I would like him more to play alongside a guy like Leonard Williams. But if Justin Ellis can't prove in training camp or in the preseason that he's ready to be a day one starter, I'd all be in the camp for going out and signing a guy like Linval Joseph. He's a winner. He knows what it takes to play for the New York Giants. He's been there and done that, and I think it's always cool when you can bring back a guy to an organization towards the end of their career when they started off with a team like Linval Joseph. So for that reason, if he's down to take a 1-year veteran minimum deal, maybe sprinkled with some incentives to earn some more cash, I'd be down with it. I'd type my S in the comment section for sign. I don't really understand why you wouldn't want to sign him, but if you're in that boat, you can let me know. Should the Giants sign Linval Joseph? Type S for sign, or you can go down, type P for pass. The Rainbow Cow, that's a sweet picture right there. Player that is on a prove-it contract on both sides of the ball. I'll go straight to Sterling Shepard and Blake Martinez, 2 players that took pay cuts this offseason to remain with the New York Giants. They're on the last year of their deal due to that pay cut. And if they don't play well, coming off of serious injuries, an Achilles in the sense of Sterling Shepard, and an ACL in the sense of Blake Martinez, both of those guys will most likely not be back with the New York Giants. So they need to prove it that they can still play in the NFL at a high clip after 2 serious injuries. I love Sterling Shepard. He started on fire last year, tore up the Denver Broncos, but then he got hurt. I want Blake Martinez to stay healthy because he's a good football player, but that's who I'm rocking with, Shep and my guy Blake Martinez. We told you guys about Mint Mobile to start today's show, but let's break it down a little bit more in depth. They offer unlimited talk and text. high-speed data, a mobile hotspot, and plans starting at just $15 per month. Inflation is crazy, but they're going to help you save money while also making it very easy on you. You get to keep the same phone. You get to keep the same phone number. You don't got to go in-store to change wireless providers. They have digital eSIM cards that make it easy on you to make it work. And they have the largest 5G network that you will be on. And they have plans that start at just $15 per month. I'm trying to save money. Inflation is crazy. I spend way too much money at the gas tank, and I'm making up for that by switching over to Mint Mobile. And you can get started today by going to mintmobile.com/chatsports. We'll have the link to that in the comments and description of today's video. Pop Johnson, what a sick name. What up, bro? Both KT stat projections for 2022. G-Men, let's ride. I love this question. Kayvon Thibodeaux, Broncos country. Let's ride. If you know, you know. Russell Westbrook, the cheesiest player in the NFL. Or Wilson, talking too much NBA. Both of them. One of them is just way past his prime. But let's get back. Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'm expecting at least 8 sacks in his rookie year because that's what his counterpart did in Azeez Ojulari last year. Kayvon Thibodeaux is a better player coming into the NFL than Azeez Ojulari is. Azeez has a year under his belt, put on some big boy, grown boy weight in the offseason, working out in the facility. So I'm expecting 8 sacks for Kayvon Thibodeaux. I just want him to play 17 games because we know he's had some injuries at Oregon in the past. So 8 sacks for Thibodeaux. But when it comes to Kadarius Toney, I want 7 all-purpose touchdowns, whether that's running, whether that's receiving, maybe he throws one this year. 7 touchdowns. He didn't score one last year. So I don't want to go over the top and say he cements himself as a number 1 wide receiver. While I do think he has that potential and skill set, I think down the line he can be. But 7 touchdowns for Toney and 8 sacks for Thibodeaux. I think those are all realistic benchmarks, which I would like to see them surpass this year. Great question, Pop. Really do this, 55. What a name. Do you think a Jimmy G trade is possible? Been seeing a lot of people talk about it. Yes. First, David Carr talked about it. Then Mike Tannenbaum talked about it. And now Colin Cowherd is leading his show today by speaking about Jimmy Garoppolo to the New York Football Giants. Colin Cowherd said he believes, and people he's talked to, the Giants are the leading horse in the Jimmy Garoppolo trade sweepstakes. And as much as I love Daniel Jones, I've always believed this when building an NFL team. If you can upgrade at the quarterback position, you do so. And as much as it pains me to say this, Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. So if the Giants go out and make a move, I'll support it because I bleed blue. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. Let's go back and look what happened at the beginning of the offseason. The Giants were trying to sign Mitchell Trubisky, an NFL free agency, to compete with Daniel Jones as QB1. That means that they are not fully sold on a guy like Daniel Jones. If they were thinking about replacing him with Mitchell Trubisky, they would be dumb to not at least talk about or think about the idea of Jimmy Garoppolo. Do I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 10 QB? No, he's probably top 15. He's better than Daniel Jones. He's been to the Super Bowl, been to the conference championship twice. He's an overthrow away to Emmanuel Sanders from winning a Super Bowl. Do I think it happens? No. Would I be surprised? No. But it's something I think we should definitely talk about and not just shoo away as fake news. Because if we learned anything this offseason in the NFL, anything is possible. Just go look at Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Tom Brady, and everything else that happened in one of the craziest off seasons of the NFL. But we'll ask this question. Should the Giants trade for Jimmy G? Try to leave your bias for Daniel Jones out of it. Because when you're making decisions like this, it's got to be with this and not this. But let me know. Should the Giants trade for Jimmy G? Type Jimmy G for yes or type F Jimmy for no. Dr. Pancake, what up, man? Do you think our defensive front can cover up our weak secondary? That's what we're going to be leaning on. We are going to be leaning on the ability to create pressure because our secondary, like you know, is young and inexperienced. I love Xavier McKinney. I love Adoree Jackson. I like the rookie Dane Belton. I like Julian Love. I think Aaron Robinson has a long career ahead of him by playing in the slot. But after that, I'm not really sold on what we have in the defensive backfield. Is Rodarius Williams ready to be ready? Is Maurice Kennedy ready to play a lot of snaps? I think these are all questions that the only way they can be answered is by what we see on the field from them coming up in training camp, preseason and the early part of the season. But this team, its heartbeat is going to come from that defensive line. Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Azeez Ojulari. Those guys, they need to carry this team because that's the part of the team that has had the most invested and it has the most talent. And that's what wins in the NFL, talent. And that's where the Giants have it, on the interior defensive line, as well as the edge rushing spots. Week 1 is just around the corner. I think I saw a tweet yesterday that we are 54 days away from getting to week 1. And I want to get to 11,000 subscribers by then. Is it lofty? Yes, but I'm challenging you. Yes, you. Big Blue Nation Giants fans. If you love the Giants and you're looking for free daily videos on the latest Giants news and rumors, we are your one-stop shop. Tap in, hit that big red button, because when the NFL season comes along, our content is going to be lit and it's going to pick up like never before. So lock us in, hit that big red button, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. Robert, what's up, man? Giants now by Chat Sports. Can the Giants split the 2 games against the Cowboys? G-men usually play up to divisional foes, even if they are less talented. It's true. Robert, you're right. I don't think it's outlandish to think that they could split with the Dallas Cowboys. The fact that they play them in 2 primetime games, one on Thanksgiving and one on Monday Night Football, I believe they can steal that game, one of those games. How sweet would it be on Thanksgiving Day if the New York Football Giants go into Jerry World and beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day? I just can't wait until Fox Sports pans their camera up to Jerry Jones in the press box, and he's pissed off because Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley just lit up the Dallas Cowboys defense. Do I think it happens? I think there's a chance. I believe you can split any time with any team in your division. Nobody knows your divisional foes like you do. The Giants, like you said, play up to their divisional opponents, and I think Dable is smart enough to scheme up at least one win against the Dallas Cowboys. Great question, Robert. Great question. Last question on today's mailbag. Senior Slam. What a name. What are your expectations for Kenny Golladay this year? I had really high expectations coming into last year for Golladay after he was signed to that mega deal, 4 years, what was it, $72 million by Kenny Golladay. And he didn't really live up to the bill of being a true wide receiver 1. Didn't score a touchdown. Just 37 grabs for 521 yards and 14 games played. The stat that I think is telling, though, is the yards per catch. 15 in 2018, 18 in 2019, 17 in 2020, but just 14 in 2021. Shout out to Jason Garrett for that. That's what needs to change. He needs to get back to being a downfield threat, not just some slant boy like he was with the New York Giants last year. And he has no option but to be great this season. Because the Giants receiving core, as much talent as it has, it's young and it's inexperienced and it's injury prone. Golladay has those problems. Who knows if Sterling Shepard's going to be ready this year? And you have Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson. After that, a lot of question marks. Kenny Golladay needs to earn his keep this season. He needs to show me, you, and everybody that's a fan of the New York Football Giants that he was worth every single dollar of that deal that he got back in the 2021 offseason. I think he's going to have a big year. I really do. I think with Dable and Kafka and this new offensive game plan of being more spread out in space and throwing the ball more, Galladay's going to have a chance to have a good season. I just pray they throw him the ball more in the red zone this year than they did last year. He's 6'5", 6'6". When he's covered, he's still open. Give him a chance. He's one of the best contested catchers in the NFL. But we'll end the mailbag with this question. 7 touchdowns for Kenny Golladay this season. Over or under? How are you feeling? Last year he scored 0. He has been the league leader in touchdown receptions before, but 7 touchdowns in 2022 for Kenny Golladay. Let me know what you're thinking. Type O for over or U for under.